Okay, so tonight we're going to go over productivity and tapping into flow states, and we're going to train our brains to go into those states. So what we're going to do tonight, as opposed to what we did last week, is I'm going to have you choose a specific context and a specific type of work that you want to accomplish. So for some of you, if you're writing a book, I want you to think about, like, where is the spot in your house that you're going to be working on this book? If you're doing a podcast or creating content, where's the room that you're going to be doing this in? And get really clear and really specific, because we're going to set an anchor to access that state of flow anytime you go to accomplish that task. So whatever that task is, something that you really want to accomplish. If you remember, we did the goal setting retreat, the subconscious success system. All of those things were centered around 2 or 3 tasks that when you do every day, it makes your life better and it accomplishes your goals. So take a moment and think about, what are those few things that are going to make the biggest difference in your life that you've been procrastinating on, or you just haven't quite been able to execute like you would like. Because I think we all know what it feels like to say, tomorrow morning, I'm going to write my book. And then you go sit down and you know the ideas are there, but nothing comes out, right? And you get fidgety and you think about other things and you're like, it's there, it's not coming. It's like, when we hypnotize someone to forget their name, they know the name is there, right? Like, that book, that podcast, that content, that's inside of you. But when you hypnotize somebody to forget their name, it's like they can't access it. Like, they just can't say it, or they know it's there, but there's a block. And so I think many of us experience that when we sit down to do our most important work. And Stephen Pressfield would call that resistance. I don't know if any of you have read Stephen Pressfield, but he talks a lot about the creative process. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hack that creative process using hypnosis, using brainwave states. So you're going to see yourself writing your book. You're going to see, this is more, usually we go to the end state, right? This is more process oriented. So you're going to see yourself enjoying the process. You're going to see yourself in a total state, getting lost in your focus, where you lose track of time. Creative ideas are coming to you. That work of genius just seems to flow. The ideas seem like they're coming from that collective consciousness field from beyond you. If you could access that state every day, how incredible would your life be? Diana, how incredible would your life be? Pretty good? Good. Okay, so I want to hear from you, because obviously, like I said on our calls, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I want to put in some specific suggestions, but I want to know specifically, what are the things that you want to create with this? Is it your book? Is it learning the piano, painting a masterpiece? Like, what is that for you that you want me to put some specific suggestions in for? And just for this call, just one most important thing, one most important project. Could be sales calls. What is that thing for you? Yes, Nolene.
A new web page.
And that would be
On
you
your
building
website.
it?
I need to have the words together and then present it to the person that's doing it.
Perfect. This would be great for that. So it's okay. Excellent. So creating a website,
I have one already.
recreating your website,
Yeah.
redesign. Okay.
My web person tells me mine is really old-fashioned.
I get that. I get that. Caitlin, yours might be sending emails to your massive email list. That might be a big one. I'm just going to give general suggestions, but if you give me something specific to go off of, you're going to reap the benefits this week. Who else has something they'd like to work on? Tom?
Yeah, I'll have finishing my book.
Beautiful. Excellent. And Tom, as of right now, when you sit down to work on your book, do you get into creative states of flow? Or are you procrastinating it? What's your current status on it?
This is my third book, and when I write, I always go into a state of flow. Once I start writing, I go into a state of flow, and then I write for probably 2 to 4 hours, and then I get burnt out and call it quits. But that's my MO for writing.
What kind of books do you write, Tom?
I've actually written 2 books for the first one was for nervous equestrians, women who develop a fear of riding their horse, and it usually comes after they had a long period of time when they're away from the horses, their comfort zone shrinks. The second book, which is being edited right now, is for competitive equestrians. I have a background with horses. I've been around horses all my life.
Mm.
And this third book that I'm on my second chapter is it's for parents of addicted children that have anxiety issues, that are overwhelmed with anxiety from worrying about their kid.
Mm.
Sounds like you should teach this class. You've already got that creative state set up, so we'll strengthen it. Okay.
Beautiful. Thank
Excellent. Thanks
There,
for sharing,
there's
Tom.
one of my students from years ago. She runs a business using her horses for troubled kids. They visit her, her stables, I suppose, wherever she
Yeah,
keeps the horses, and
yeah.
she does
I've
therapy.
heard of that, Freddie. Yeah,
She does
for
therapy with
troubled
them,
kids.
and she's
Yeah,
really, really effective. Taking care of something other than yourself. I think that's partly what it is. But I think it's something Haven. I'm not. I'll check it out. But yeah, she does great work, and she uses hypnosis, kind of covertly with these kids while
nice.
you're taking there with their horses. So yeah, sounds
Well,
really interesting.
Tom, you probably know this better than me, but I've heard that horses' hearts are 5 times the size of our hearts. And so just like when you're with somebody that you're in rapport with, you can entrain to them. And that feeling of connection and anticipation, like a horse can read your mind almost because we share that energy field. I don't know if that's something that you work on, but it's
Um, yeah, I think that's very accurate, Nicholas. It's if you've been around horses for a long time, you definitely get a connection with them, and you they they're very they're nonverbal, so they're very sensitive in terms
Mhm.
of communicating on an other than verbal level, or it's just like same with dogs. All animals have that developed sixth sense, and when you're with them all the time, you're going you will get entrained and connected with them, and all that's definitely going on. When I first became a hypnotist, I recognized that dealing with someone on an unconscious level is not that much different than dealing with an animal.
Mm.
Because if like the animal, like a horse, sometimes gets nervous, they get flighty, they get uh, out of control, and if you feed into that energy, you're going to get worse. And if you go first, stay calm. That's horsemanship 101, is to just stay in a good state, and they'll follow you. So there's a lot of that going on.
I say
Absolutely.
I say it to my students, and I think, I know my son thinks I'm a bit kind of new agey, because I say, when we're working with our clients, just hold the thought in your heart. I care about you, and I want you to be well. So, there's so much more going on than just the techniques and the word we say. How we feel, what we want for our clients, what we expect for our clients is as important, even without verbalizing those words. And just run that in your mind. We kind of feel it all the time anyway. We should do if we're working with our clients, but quite often, because we're especially new students, when they first start out, they're thinking about the words and they forget to be the human being. I think that's what you're saying, Tom. There's
Yeah,
with
and
horses. Yeah,
Freddie, I'll tell you, I think you do that as good as anybody I've ever seen in terms of
thanks.
connecting with a person on an energetic level. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's what makes you such that and a lot of practice is what makes you such a masterful hypnotist.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
And maybe let's have the links to your books wherever they are, and That'd be really good of you to share it with the group. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'll get that together in another
Thanks.
call, or so
Yeah,
I'll
thanks.
throw it in
Yeah,
the
cool.
chat at
Thanks.
some point.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Blaine, let's hear from you.
Well, I have to say I really enjoyed that from both Tom and Freddie, and I think we're all feel blessed to be amongst this group and the lovely energy. So what I was going to ask about is back to reality, perhaps. My typing, right? Gung ho, and for the last 3 days I haven't practiced, so I would love some help with consistency.
Beautiful. Okay.
And I'm getting there.
All right. Excellent.
Thanks.
I saw a couple comments. Working on a website, working on a webinar. A couple good things in here. Lynn documenting understanding of hypnosis, NLP, energy. Perfect. Doreen, yes.
Yeah, I am still working on health, and I have some particular exercises I need to do every day. But yeah, besides my usual yoga, I always think I'll do them later, but it just doesn't seem to be happening.
Okay. Perfect.
So
Perfect.
thanks.
All right. Any questions before we do this? Because we're going to do a pretty simple process here, but it should be a pretty powerful feeling. And we're going to set up a trigger so that anytime you sit down to do this task, or I guess you don't even have to sit down, anytime you enter the context to do the task, the state of flow is going to kick in and you're going to be just propelled forward and you're going to perform like a genius. So any questions before we get into it? Think about how amazing it's going to be when you just know when you go to do the task, it just comes automatically and you access that state of flow. It's going to be great, right? Oh, there's Tom's links. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for sharing. That definitely helps me. So let's go ahead and get comfortable and get situated. And prepare to anchor a state of heightened productivity, energy, flow, productivity, charisma. Because your unconscious mind has all of the resources you need to be a creative genius, to be in a state of productive flow, to overcome all resistance. And knowing that, before we really start, I want you to just observe yourself, how you are now when you sit down to do this work. When you go to do this work, imagine seeing yourself as an observer, noticing, are you distracted or are you focused? Are you productive or do you get stuck? And on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being having a lot of difficulty, having what we might consider writer's block, and 10 being that excellent state of productive flow, on average, where are you on a daily basis with this particular task? 1, not getting any work done, all the way to 10, in a state of productive flow, getting lots of work done, getting lots of creative inspiration. And decide now where you would like to be. At the end of this, in just a few minutes, when everything that you want has happened, and you're in that productive state of flow on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you be on a daily basis with this task? And see that number in your mind. See the outline of it, see the colors of it. Knowing that your subconscious mind can lock onto that number, that scale, and create that experience for you easily and automatically. In a moment, not yet, but in a moment, as you inhale, I'm going to have your eyes roll up into the top of your head. And as you exhale, they're going to relax all the way down. And each time you do this, you'll enter a deeper state of relaxation, a deeper state of calm and presence. And inhale, rolling those eyes up, looking upwards to the top of your head. And exhale, relaxing your eyes and your entire body. Inhale again, rolling those eyes up. And exhale, even deeper, feeling the sensations inside of you changing. Inhale one last time, eyes up. That's right. Exhale, all the way down. In a moment, I'm going to say the word relax 4 times. Each time I say that word, you may feel those sensations of warmth or heaviness, relaxation or calm, increasing. Until the 4th time I say it, you'll enter that perfect state for transformation. Relax. See that word and feel it spreading like waves of relaxing energy through your entire body. As you relax, the muscles around your eyes, your scalp, the back of your neck, all the way down your spine. Relax. 3 times as deep, 3 times as profound. Relax. You may feel like your body is dissolving, like the boundaries of you disappearing. Becoming aware of all of the space inside and around you. And as you relax even more into this beautiful state, remember a time when you were in that state of productive flow. A time where the answers just seemed to come to you like divine inspiration. Where you knew just what to say, what to write, what to do. Maybe it felt like a state of momentum. Maybe you were playful. And maybe you were learning at an incredible rate. And as you see that experience of that state, you may see more than one experience. There may be different contexts, different times in your life where you created something, you accomplished something with this state. And as you see those experiences, you may be reminded that the power to create, the power to be a genius, was always within you. In your unconscious, subconscious resources. And take a moment to connect with all of those parts of you that contribute to that productive state, to your creativity, to your flow, knowing that you are confident, that you are capable. And just like an observer watching, see yourself performing this task with incredible skill and incredible precision. In that state where there is no resistance. There's spontaneous creativity, maybe enthusiasm, maybe even some playfulness. Watch your state. Watch yourself in that state, like time doesn't exist. Like nothing else matters but you being fully absorbed into the experience of creating, of taking an idea and bringing it to life. And walk around yourself performing this task. And notice how in love you are with the process. The end state is great, but what is it like to enjoy the process? And see the look on your face as you accomplish this, as you create this. Maybe you're writing a book, building a website, sending emails, scripting a webinar. And really walk around. Notice how you breathe. Notice your body language and your posture, the level of energy and confidence that you have. In a moment, not yet, but in a moment, you're going to float into this experience and you're going to feel this state of flow. You will embody it. The energy will flow through you. And when you get a really clear picture of exactly what that version of you feels, what they experience, their way of being, go ahead and step in now. And notice that feeling tingling through every part of your body, your skin, your muscles, your brain, like an energetic upgrade. Feel that energy field around your body. What does that feel like? The energy, the focus, the creativity. And there's no need to worry about the specifics. Just notice how it feels. Imagine your hand writing vigorously with the creative ideas, having those aha moments, maybe typing at an unbelievable pace with new ideas. And notice how great that feels. Maybe you're doing your physical exercises. And in a moment, I'm going to have you step out and become the observer again. And step out of that now and go back to being the observer and take a deep breath in and just let that state fully dissipate, completely gone. Because in a moment, when you step back into it, your subconscious mind will learn that that state is linked to that context. But again, float around yourself in that productive state, performing that task. And notice that you have no concern for what anybody else thinks, no concern for anything else on your to-do list. There's nowhere else for you to be, no one for you to impress. This is an act of your creative inspiration as your most authentic self. And that feeling of freedom is what you're going to experience when you float into that scene in just a moment. And see the energy and momentum that you have carrying out this task consistently. And go ahead and float into that body again and feel that state of momentum, that state of energy, that rush of creativity. And notice it's like it's flowing through you. Like there's nothing that you need to do. It's just you allow it to happen. The ancient Greeks might call these the muses. You're allowing the muses to make you more creative. And feel it flowing through you with you as the vessel for this creative process. Completely free. Your authentic self with no one to impress but you. And notice how incredible this feels. And from now on, anytime you step into this context, this state will automatically trigger. Anytime you sit down to write your book or do your physical exercises or practice typing or create your website or write emails, anytime you go to do those tasks, this state will automatically fire. And you will be able to observe this divine inspiration, creativity, and productivity flowing through you. And there's nothing you can do about it. And notice how this state feels. Remember, memorize how incredible this momentum and productivity feels. And go ahead and float out of it one last time. Take a deep breath and shake off that state. Let it dissipate completely, because in a moment, we're going to test it. In a moment, you're going to step back in to that context in your imagination, and you're going to notice if that state fires automatically. And it may even fire stronger than before. Because anytime you step into that context, this state will fire automatically. This state of productive, creative flow. The state of authentic execution and creative freedom will automatically fire. So take a moment and walk around the scene one more time, noticing yourself executing at a high level. Creative, productive, full of joy, enthusiasm, playfulness, the perfect mix of emotions for that context. And when you can see yourself in that state so clearly, go ahead and step in and just notice if that state fires even stronger this time. Notice if that state flows through you. Notice if it feels like you can just allow this creative process, the state of momentum, of energy, of creativity, to take over you. And you may even try to stop it and notice what happens instead. Anything that used to distract you only serves to create and strengthen this state even more. And I don't know, but you may feel yourself getting lost in this experience of creating. the joy, the flow, the ideas. Bringing your vision to life effortlessly. And all you have to do is step into this context and allow it as the vessel for this creative process. Allowing your subconscious mind to put you into the perfect state to finish your book, to do your exercises consistently, to type quickly and precisely, to write incredible sales copy for your website, for your emails, to create your podcast, put out content, whatever it is for you. Anytime you enter that context, your subconscious mind will put you into the perfect state of freedom and flow. And anything that used to distract you will only serve to strengthen this state even more. And when you're sure that's happened completely and your subconscious mind has learned without a doubt to bring you right back to this state, and your entire nervous system can tap into all of your unconscious resources, and you know for certain that that process is complete and fully integrated, just take a moment and feel gratitude. Gratitude for the process of creation, for the process of productivity. It's great to feel grateful and accomplishment at the end state, but it's really that journey, the beautiful state that makes creation inevitable. Feel grateful for that. Feel grateful for your nervous system, your subconscious mind, your curiosity, your creativity, and the wisdom that exists beyond you for you to tap into at any moment. And as you feel that gratitude in your heart, notice what level on a scale of 1 to 10, what level of productivity did you just experience? What level of productivity do you know is anchored into that context? And when you're certain that it's the level that you wanted, you can notice the feeling of your body in your chair. Notice the heaviness of your hands, the movement of your lungs, and the beating of your heart. Feeling more energy, more alive, more aware. And in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 5. Your eyes will open, and you will have no doubt that that state of certainty, that state of productive, creative flow is within you for you to access at any time. 1, feeling more alive, more aware, 2 times more creative, 3 times more productive, 4 times more free, 5, eyes opening, noticing how incredible you feel, and knowing that you have a lot of resources that you are just tapping into now, aren't you? Well, I was reading some of your faces, and it looked like many of you are having a great experience. I think Allison's still out there in the cosmos. All right, I'd love some feedback. What were your the symptom scale was a last minute addition. What did you guys think of that? Was it where were you before and where were you at the end? Dakota like that? Good.
Yeah, I started off as a 2 and then went to an 8.
Pretty cool. Pretty big jump. And if you lived at an 8 or above in the context of that thing you want to do, what's the impact it's going to have on your life, Dakota?
A profound movement in a positive direction. I feel like I won't be wasting any time doing anything else other than the focused thing that I want to be focused on.
Love it.
Productivity.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else? Yes, Diana.
Yes, I realized as I went into the flow that I was doing everything backwards every day. I was doing all the things I needed to do business-wise first thing, admin, etc. Then I was doing the book writing or a painting, whichever I tried again. And then I was doing exercises. And of course, that's all wrong because I feel wonderful after Qigong. And if I do that, I have energy, extra energy, and I'd be more in the flow. And I can put admin to the afternoon, can't I?
Yes.
So I realized I was doing everything backwards. Thank you. So I've sorted it out now.
Good. Excellent.
Now, that's one of the joys of being a woman, that you can do everything backwards.
That's enough from you, Freddie.
I remember reading something about Fred Astaire. He was one of the world's greatest dancers, and everyone praised Fred Astaire, but he had a partner called Ginger Rogers.
Yeah.
And someone then pointed out that Fred Astaire was great, but Ginger Rogers did everything he did, but she did it backwards in high heels.
Yeah.
But kind of put it in context, you know.
That's
Why she was brilliant.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see that you can do it backwards as well. Very good. A thought that came to me about you, Caitlin, actually, while I was in that state of flow, was you're going to do this presentation at Hypno Thoughts Live, and you've had this insight and this, this revelation, so to speak, on how you can change, how you can help people change. And, putting the thought that Tom was giving us earlier, have you written a book?
Who, me?
Caitlin?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, I think that's Caitlin. I think that's something you should think of, and it'll give you a timeline as well. If you think, I want to have that book by the time I do that presentation, and if you were just to think what your presentation, if you think what your presentation is going to be, and you just formulate that into words in a book, you've got a best-selling book.
Okay, I haven't written the book yet because I just came up with the new brand that I'm so excited about. It's Flavor That Heals.
Right,
and
fantastic.
It ties everything together, the food, the nervous system, the whole journey, like from addiction to joy and freedom, to like light and frequency and music and all of it. So I love that.
I know,
Freddie,
I believe you're going
idea.
to I believe that at some point you're going to write a book, and Tom will tell you, the joy of writing a book is that you're going to move someone that you're never going to meet. And that's a great thought. Your words, your ideas will maybe change someone's life that you're never, ever going to meet. When I wrote my book, Hypnotherapy, and the first time I went to Hypno Thoughts Live was 2018. And my son said to me, you've got a presentation at Hypno Thoughts Live. You've got an hour on the Sunday at 5 o'clock. And I said, well, is there any point? Because I'm, nobody knows me, and I'm going to be there talking to two people. I said, no, you'll be all right. Anyway, that's not how it turned out, as happens. The room was packed. But I get there, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm on the other side of the world. Nobody knows me. And I'm walking through the casino where this conference room was. And a man stopped me, and he said, you're Freddie Jacquin, aren't you? And I went, yeah, how'd you know that? It's I'm on the other side of the world. And he said, I bought your book. He said, my mum has been in pain for 20 years. He said, I ran the arrow technique as you describe it in your book, and she's out of pain. Thanks very much. And he kept on walking. So you're never going to know. Tom will never know how many people he's touched by writing a book. And I think you've got a really great idea of how to help people change. I think it would, at some point, now I'll put the germ in your mind, at some point, as you're formulating your presentation, you'll probably see it coming together as a book. And it's just a thought, and I'm just a hypnotist. So it's the way it goes.
And the book is like for all of you, it's already inside of you. It's just accessing the state where it comes out, like a state of no resistance. When you're in, high beta brainwaves, or you're stressed, or you're doing your admin stuff first, Diana, you're not tapping into that. But when we've set up that productive state, and you can listen to this recording at any time, you're just going to go into that state. Like the alpha brainwaves, the theta brainwaves, those are all going to fire when you sit down to write. Like they're just going to be automatic, and you'll sit down and you'll knock out 10 pages or 20 pages, and you'll be like, oh, that felt automatic. It felt natural. Like that was really cool. Whereas before, you're going to completely forget what it was like to sit down and know the book's in there, but have nothing come out. Like you won't even remember what that experience was like. But that's just a suggestion.
And I think the thing is that most people believe they can write a book, or they have something to say, but what stops them is the thought that perhaps they're not going to be good enough. Perhaps it's not good enough to put out, or who's going to like it, who's going to enjoy it. And I think that stops them in their tracks. Some years ago, a friend of mine in Australia, she said, I've just written my book, or one of my books. And she said, oh, I think I've got a book in me. I said, well, why don't you write it? And she said, well, I'm not sure if anyone would like it or not. And for me, and I'm sure it's the same for Tom, I don't really care whether anyone reads my book or not. I just enjoy the process of writing it. And it's just the fun. I mean, I've written a couple of novels, and it's great fun to write novels because you can lose yourself in these different characters. But even in like the books like the hypnotherapy books that I write, and someone once said to me, because I've created the Arrow technique and other hypnotherapy techniques that are helping people. And someone on one of my retreats said to me, and this is what he said, and he meant it seriously. He said, I know you're a master wizard. He said, and he kind of meant it. He wasn't joking. He said, I know you're a master wizard. He said, but why does source power give you these ideas? Why have you got the Arrow technique? Why have you got time machine? Why have you got these different things? And I said, I have no real idea. I said, but I think the reason is this. If, let's say you love somebody, and you want to give them a present or a gift. And so you go out and you seek out this perfect gift for them, and you wrap it in a box and beautiful paper and a bow on it, and you give it to that person, and they say, oh, thanks very much. They take that gift and they put it on a shelf and they never open it. How many more gifts are you going to give that person? And I think, as with you, Caitlin, as with Jasmine, so many of you have great ideas. I think if you share it, if you do it, forget about what anyone's going to think. Share those ideas in a book, or in however you're going to do it. I believe that then you'll have other ideas, because if there is source power, if there is a collective consciousness which are dishing out gifts and thoughts and good ideas, who are they going to give them to? Are they going to give them to the people who go, okay, that's a great idea, and never tell anyone about it? Or are they going to give it to the person who shares it? So I would think about that when you have an idea. Don't think, oh, well, it's not good enough, or who cares, or will it be good enough? Just think, am I enjoying the process of writing this book? Am I enjoying the process of creating this technique, or whatever it is you're going to put out there? And look at it like that. I was listening to Brad Pitt. He was awarded some kind of, I don't know, I suppose it's for acting, considering it's Brad Pitt, it's probably an acting award. But he was saying, people talk about the destination. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And he said, and it's not even that. He said it's the company. And I think that's what we've got in this group. And that's what I love about this group, and I hope the other week when we set up an accountability partner, I hope you're keeping in touch with each other and bouncing ideas off each other and using each other. That's where our real strength lies. Because, I've been doing hypnotherapy for a long time, and it's kind of a lonely business. You don't have colleagues as such. You don't have an office you go to where there's loads of people around. And it can be kind of, a very kind of lonely existence. And I think we should use each of us in this group and keep in contact, share ideas. If you've got an idea for a book or whatever it might be, if you've made a friend in this group, then contact them and say, look, I've got this idea I'd like to run past you. And then you're going to get feedback and all that stuff. And I think that's where our strength lies. But what I'm saying here is if you've given an idea, like Caitlin's been given an idea. Jasmine's been given an idea. Nick is always getting ideas. You know, I think it's our duty to share it, no matter how we do it. You know, whether it's just a video that's going to help somebody, whether it's a book, or whether it's a podcast, however you're going to get your thoughts out, because you'll never know, as I said to you, you'll never know how many people you'll touch with your book. Someone you're going to help that you may never meet, and that's for me is the joy of writing.
And Freddie, some people have this scarcity about sharing their ideas as well, and I think, you know, if you're clinging to like the idea as the power, you're missing the point. People are drawn to you as the person who knows how to channel creative ideas. When you're like a never-ending stream of like, hey, I got this new process, hey, I got this new idea, people are drawn to you for that, not just for ideas, right? Like you could take away the arrow technique and Freddie's going to have something else. It's not the arrow that makes him powerful, it's Freddie that makes him powerful. And so when you cling on to those ideas like that's the value, then you cut off that flow.
Yeah, I think I know you're right, but I kind of heard this years ago that love is the one commodity you can't give away without getting more back. And I think, you know, in the context of what we're talking about here with ideas and sharing things, you know, I think it's the same. You know, you'll never dry up with ideas if you're sharing them. You know, and the reason people don't share them is because they think to the end state where they think, who will care and will it be good enough? Put that out of your mind and just do it from your heart and enjoy the process. I'm sure Tom will agree. You know, when he sits down to write and he gets in that flow state, it's a magical experience. And I think someone again years ago think creativity is next to godliness. You know, it's the one thing as human beings that we have, you know, that over and above all the other animals out there, you know, that creative ability that we have as human beings to have an idea, you know, and where does that idea come from? And sometimes it's just a joy, isn't it? When you think that's a great idea, you know, but it's not just having the idea, it's seeing it through and just for the fun of it, just for the joy of it. And we got some really creative people in this group, I know.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I'm excited to see what all of you create from this, and I would love any feedback. How was that experience for you? Are you certain now? You know what that state feels like? Good.
I just want to say it was amazing. Like I went from like 7, 8, which only happened because of the last 2 weeks. Before that was probably like 5 or 6. But then I went to like 11, and I was so in the state that I was moving my feet to the music that I was creating in my head. It was awesome. Thank you.
When what you experience in your mind is more real than what's in the external world, that's when what you see in your head shows up in the external world. That's when you bring that into reality. When your vision for the book, for the typing skills, for the website, when that's so clear in your mind that it feels more real than what's on the outside, that's the state where you bring those things into life. Excellent. Well, thanks everybody for sharing. We'll be on for a few more minutes, but it was great to see everybody. And if anyone has any more feedback or any shares, I'd love to hear it.
And it is amazing how much you can produce when you get into that state. When you put away, you know, you set your mind and say, this is what I'm going to do, and let nothing else sway you off that path. It's amazing how much we can do and what we can create.
It is.
I'm grateful for just the push of me moving forward in a direction. And I had to be off camera because I'm training. So yeah, can't be on camera every day.
Well, it's nice to see.
I know Samantha's got, you know, she's found the purpose. I think you were looking for a while, you know, how are you going to use all the skills and, you know, the skills and abilities you have. And, you know, I know you texted me the other day and said, you know, you found your purpose, you found where you want to be, what you want to.
So I had my purpose. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to clarify. I found the person who I want to bring the purpose to fruition with, because it's something that I want to bring with another person. I don't want to do it by myself. And that's just what I want. And
Yeah.
for that specific business or that purpose, it's taken me 3 different people, or on the third person. So I haven't given up, and I'm really grateful to have connected to her. And I feel it's exactly what I wanted. So I'm
Fantastic.
just so happy about that. It's really just helped me so much. And also I want to say thank you so much for the recommendation with Kev. He is fantastic.
Good.
He is just a phenomenal person. And I told you, Freddie, you have such great taste,
Well, I like to
exceptional
think so.
taste in people.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. You know, but there's Nick, you know, he's always the one that proves the thing wrong. But, you know, otherwise it's great. I've normally got great taste, but yeah.
Got to be an exception.
An
Every
exception to the rule. It's always an exception to the rule. I think I'm very lucky, actually. I'm lucky that Nick's walked into my life and he's asked me to get involved in this. And, you know, there are other people on this call that, you know, that I've connected with. You know, I'm just very lucky. That's what I think. But, you know, they say it's better to be born lucky than rich. So there you go. Freddie Lucky Jacquin. That's my middle name. That was great tonight, Nick. You know, really was good. And I appreciate it.
Thanks, Freddie. I'm excited to hear from all of you. Please share, you know, in the next few days when you sit down to do this and you get a little kick in the butt and you feel really good and really good states of flow. I'd love to hear about it.
I'm looking forward to the day when we have a live retreat where we can all get together in person. That's going to be, you know, that's the dream for me. It'll be to, you know, to have us all in the same space, sharing our skills, sharing our thoughts and ideas in the same physical space. That's going to be a great day for me.
Indeed.
It's going to happen. You know.
All right, everyone, have a beautiful week. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you next week.
Take care. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Freddie. Good weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Brilliant. That was great.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
That was wonderful. Thank you both. Happy days,
Take
everyone.
care. Bye.